Welcome back, guys. We are back for episode 4. Some things have changed, some building has started, and we are getting to a proper base now. So, between last episode and this episode, I tried filling out this bunker a bit more and expanding, refining areas a bit more built out. Now that we especially have a few more resources, especially iron, which is a bad example in that container. We have a bunch of stone being refined and a bunch of components. Now, I did this for a door, insert one, so we can get inside. I'm working on lights, this interior space. I'm going to move this hydrogen tank and so on. We are struggling a bit for power since the ship is taking all of it. And I built out all 4 of the refineries as well as a few assemblers. So here we have this assembler with its body. Go down here with a cargo container, which links back up to these 2. So we have 4 in total. This leaves adequate space to upgrade them as well and expand. Now for the miner, I decided to add a few changes. First off, I added 5 more drills so that it does extra mining now. Instead of at the top, added the cargo at the bottom and next to the hydrogen tank, as well as a few bits of armor. Now if we look at this, it is fully charged. If we press 4, 5, 6 and 7, we can fly. The ship is currently still very heavy, so let's quickly dock up, open the inventory. We go here, show any ship inventories, hide empty. We search for cargo. This cargo terminal is empty. We can move all the stone in there. This moves all the stone out. Our ship is now empty. And now we can just press 6 again. Now, one thing I add as an oversight is that this is now way too wide to dig its own hole or be a tunnel bore. If we now fly, you can see it's a lot better. I waited for the hydrogen to fill up, which took almost an hour. We have left and right click, and we only have a 1 tank. Now if we go over here, you can see where I started to mine some stone. I have done some iron mining to get most of the resources. Press 2. Now let's see if this can tunnel bore. If this does not work, I can always rebuild this. Now this will be a bit of a shorter episode, mainly some planning that's on camera for change, as I want to do a bit of building with hydrogen storage, especially on the base, and power. And I did expand the solar array, which I will show shortly. As you can see, this does not tunnel bore, so we will have to change up the design. Maybe moving these modular cargo containers to be a bit smaller, or regular cargo containers, or moving them up closer to the front. Instead of waiting, I'm going to base 3. I'm going to fly to be almost parallel to the surface. Then we're just gonna fly up and forward a bit, slowly mining out a square area. Now, one oversight with the ship is that I can no longer access that ice mine. I will have to either dig it a lot larger, change up the ship, or even try and find the ice caps, which we can honestly do now, but I'll rather wait on that for another day. Place 3, terrain clearing mode off, and now we just go again and mine. If we check our inventory, we have a lot of iron that is processing. Only the still was not so loud. let's quickly finish up a bit more. And actually, let's just head back so I can show you the new solar array. Now from a distance we can actually start to see our base. As you can see in the bottom right, there is our new solar array. Lift up, you can see I placed about 10 of them, just loosely on this part of the grid. Is done. Let's quickly go here and use build vision to turn on the engine so we have some power again. And we are going to take out steel plates. About 500 should be enough for the time being. Now I have most of the ship, the base this side. I want to expand a bit over here to make it even out. We have this facility which is mainly just a wall at the moment. Maybe we have a transition of 3x3 or 5x5 room. This which would be a bit off-centered, so maybe taking this back. And we're gonna do a corridor. 1, 2, 3 out, so we go 2 out again, and now go out by, let's say, yeah, 5. Should be enough. This should be enough for us to also convert a lot of pipes over to that side. And now we can place a few blocks. And you'll notice the terrain does actually come and get into our way. So we are going to have to right-click mine a reasonable bit of this away. 4, let's do 5, 6, 7. And let's go to mine out a bit more. Should be a 7 by or a 5 by 9 rather, but I'm going to try and make. Or we can actually keep it like this, adding a few layers. Build up. Here and a block here open. I will weld all of this off camera. For now we are just placing a bit, but interior plates I will need a few. We are going to place a haberdashery of conveyors now. So we're gonna place 2 like that. Remove this one and remove this one so we can go down. Back to 9. I want a straight tubed conveyor, and then I want a reinforced C conveyor. This will go down into a vent. If I can just find the hard part with it. So we go to number 1. And we find the DLC one. Place it in. And then we can route this back. Now alongside this I will be placing a cargo terminal, because you can never have too many. Maybe even half one. And then a straight conveyor, and we can lead this into the round conveyor. Let's quickly see. So this. And we are going to try and connect it to this point. So let's actually take this back. Join these outer flanges, and then we do a C. Maybe not a C, we do a plus. To straight, flanged, and then we change this out for a straight.
Inventory full.
That was a mistake. Now some resources have been destroyed. Let's go to 4. We add a T junction. If I can find it. There we go. Now we have our C junction. It is connected at least to that bit. And now over here we are going to have to build this one up at least. As we can build the rest of these, and I may have misaligned this a bit. Yes, it's misaligned. So instead of those, I'm going to do this. 9. We go and place a junction there and there. We can place a straight conveyor junction, and now we need a T junction here. Note that we can place most of these parts and weld up most of them. Very simple. I'm going to try and do now, just so that we have them done. Now we can go to number 8 here. We can get our hydrogen tank, but we are getting the round one because we look better. There's one over there, one over there, one block gap. Now do we want these to sit like this? Do we want to hide them for oxygen tanks? So we can finally route a bit of oxygen. And you know what, instead of these two, maybe this one, we can place the normal oxygen tank next to one of those pipes, and we can make it a flanged one. And then is this a junction? No, it's a straight pipe, and this is one of those. Okay. Now we can just weld this up. Let's do the important bits. The oxygen tank, cargo terminal, reinforced conveyor, and the fan. Let's place a bit more of these. Now we pull. Oxygen tank should be mostly built up now, which it is not doing. So let's look for that flooring block again, which is here number 5. We have a decal. Let's actually pull a bit of interior plate. This area. Now we ignore that. We pull a few more materials. Load up a bit more.
Energy low.
energy. Now today's episode is going to be a bit of a short one as I have a few things I must go and do, but hopefully from next week on we can have our regular videos again. To be trying to pull as many of these as possible. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. And the last 3. Entire section. And now we should be able to store a bit of oxygen as soon as we gather some ice. Now, by my calculations, I should be mostly done. Let's actually turn that off. Back into our miner, check our inventory again. It's empty. So let's go 4, 5, 6. And let's go to our ice mine, and we are going to be digging out a bit of it. As you can see, we do cover a huge area, so we can quite easily see a huge radius of a moon. So if we fly just a bit higher, we can also slowly then see the gravity will decrease, meaning we are leaving the moon. And I do not see any ice, so I think we're on the side without any ice. Let's actually go a bit higher so we see more of a moon. We are zooming out and over. There we have ice. We're going to be flying to this ice patch, and then we can go and explore that white signal over there. It's 8 kilometers away. To fill up on our ice, so we have a reasonable amount before we return. Now we can see the ice is slowly going to be filling up our grid. We can look at our O2H2 generators that are finally filling up. Which I am finding quite pleasant to finally have a bit of ice in. Forming completely. Okay, just continue. Some nickel and silicon nearby, which is a good thing, but we are not going to mark those as we do currently have veins for them, and I'm not interested in mining that at the moment. Now, the most dangerous part about this playthrough is that we have an infinite speed mod, which essentially makes it very dangerous to fly when you have a ship that is currently full of items. Let's go to the station, which is actually in space. But it shouldn't take us too long, and we can even crash into this one, I think, without damaging any components or blocks. You can see there's a blue bubble that's around it. That is a safe zone. Safe zone is basically an area where we can drill, mine, and grind, depending on the settings we have. This is a very long shot one. As you can see, we're barely out of its gravity range. And as expected, we can crash safely. Now all we need to do is quickly go and land nearby the station. Now these stations generally have a few sets of resources. That is good enough. Let's actually unequip that. Now enter the airlock if it just allows me to. We have a few stations over here. Now they're going up to lockers and a few seats. So looking here, you can see outside. We don't have access yet. Enter, open your inventory and take the credits out of beds. A basic welder, don't want any of this. This bed, even more credits. Now we are going to look here. Another one of these. Table. Some more lockers. And now let's check this side, the toilet. Which may actually have credits in. No, it doesn't. And the shower block. If we go even higher, we see a timer block, which doesn't really accomplishes anything. And a command console or bridge area, which we do not have access to. If we go down now to the right, we have a dispenser, which is not a bad deal. See, we don't want that. Now we can just scroll through what it should be having in the station. We can go and check in here. There's a doorway, so this is like the entrance hall if you work here. Over on this side is an access hatch, which I have not explored yet. Oxygen tank, a gravity generator which we must get, and so it goes down. You can check the battery levels, oxygen, etc. If we now check over here, store, ATM, and contacts. So by the store, we can deposit all of our credits, which is a 17k. 531. Now we have a balance of 27,531 contracts. You get credits by doing certain missions. We are not going to be doing those. And then we have a store. We can buy or sell certain things. Here you can buy hydrogen or oxygen. And we can sell a bunch of components. That's about it for this. So let's leave. Let's slowly head back to the moon. We are looking for a base which is on our right. Doing this when I have an infinite speed mod, I keep forgetting I cannot slow down a heavy ship. Generally, I lose my entire ship by being clumsy like this. I have a base, it's not fair, we are still a few kilometers away. Here is actually a nice crater to put up a base in, but you can hide a bunch of things in the mountainside or the side of a crater. We are going to be keeping our speed relatively close to 900 meters a second, 90 meters a second until we are within 2 kilometers of a base, then switching back or trying to slow down to be a bit slower. Now I'm going to be slowing down. Now that we are back at base, I'm going to be landing. We do have a nice silhouette of our base, but it does need a lot of work. And I may expand the hydrogen facilities, but for now they seem adequate. I don't really see a point in adding more to it. Now we slow down. We align. To stay below 10 meters a second, arcing up ever so slightly, and there I destroyed the connector, as I have said. I'm going to have to deposit everything quickly. It's fixed. Let's get in. 6547. Then jump out. Now we can actually start up the hydrogen engine without the issue of running out of ice, as we should be producing enough to fill up both. So we find the hydrogen engine, it is full. Hydrogen tank is filling up, which is good news. Now let's quickly go around. This is the fastest way. We should be seeing the tank slowly fill up. Our oxygen should be mostly full by now. Meaning now we can actually waste a bit of air in this room by depressurizing it a few times. Let's quickly do this. Right, the majority of our base now down. Now, as you can see, we have majority of base actually in operating order. Let's quickly do a stop bit. Now you see, I have actually tried out some chamomile tea. I find it to be quite nice, but the mint they added to it actually makes it a bit potent or strong. So generally it has a sharp taste, but after a few sips I've noticed it does help a lot. I've also noticed it does help me to sleep a bit better. Okay, now we have most of this done. We can quickly finish up the tanks, and then I think that will be the end of this episode. Roughly. And even hooking them up so they can at least get some ice. This is going to take a few round trips. We do have a container there, so I don't know why I'm going back all that way now and wasting so much hydrogen. Again. Now we have our two tanks, but we need to hook them up because currently they are not even connected. And at least get some more floor down in this area. So I'm going to be equipping light armor block and pulling a bit of resources. Okay, now we have 3 tanks that are hooked up. They are currently refueling as well, very slowly however. But nonetheless, we have made some progress. The next episode you will probably see this being fully welded up the entire base, and we can work on a better power solution and even starting to pressurize this room. I will be moving this as well in between episodes and focus on the hydrogen power room in a bit. Recharge. I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.